It's tough to win for any team inside the Siegel Center here in Richmond, Virginia. For more details, let's check in with our sideline reporter for the first time. Hey, Jacqueline.
Hey guys, yeah, this is a major test for St. Louis. They have never won at VCU. They are 0-10 all time, but this could be the Billiken squad that finally breaks through. We spoke with SLU head coach Josh Schertz about this obstacle. He said it's going to be tough, but we need this kind of game to figure out what sort of team we are. You guys mentioned it. The Siegel Center is rocking. It is sold out. It's a tough place to play, and Schertz also said we're not scared. We're excited for the opportunity. Back to you.
Yeah, it's a big test for St. Louis coming in with just one loss. And here's Josh Schertz's starting lineup. The sharpshooter, Trey Green. Look out for number 3 for St. Louis. And for VCU, Coach, they have started the same 5 each and every game so far this season, with Phil Martelli Jr. leading the way.
Yeah, it's a pretty good 5, too. They got a nice mix of experience and youth because Jennings is a sophomore and Lewis is a really good freshman.
Well, hope you like points. VCU, their best offense scoring since 1976. They're at 87 a game. St. Louis is at 95 points a night. Lee Cassell, Mike Palau, Jeffrey Clark, the 3 officials. Let's get it on in the A-10.
Well, both these teams primarily man-to-man, but they'll sprinkle in a little bit of zone here and there. They are also, besides being great offensively, they are very good defensively, too.
Yeah, opponents shoot just 36% this season against St. Louis. With their 13 wins this season, and right on cue, Amari McCautry gets the steal. Dishes to the far corner, and Brown lines it up and knocks it down from distance.
They will shoot extremely quick. And the thing about Dion Brown, he does everything. He's not a great three-point shooter. That's only his 10th of the season, but he does so many good things for them.
Yeah, just 23 attempts. Quick ball movement, of course, on the VCU side with Phil Martelli Jr. in his first year as the team's head coach. Barry Evans slices across the lane and gets the teardrop.
Yeah, Barry Evans came from Bryant with Phil Martelli, who I've known since he's 10 years old probably. But Barry Evans was an all-league player in the America East. Second team preseason All-A-10. That tells you the respect that he has around the league.
So calling this game with a former Villanova head coach and, of course, Phil Martelli, longtime head coach at St. Joe's in Philly. Right wing 3, Nick Lewis off the back of the rim, and the rebound volleyed to Amari McCautry.
These guys don't waste any time. Tell you what, you got to get back quick against this team.
Britton Jones wastes no time. Evans muscles inside against Avila, can't get it to go, and like a blur with the Rams having one late back on defense, here comes St. Louis.
Well, you know what helps with their speed, Chris, is they have 4 guys that could lead the break. Maybe even Avila could lead the break too, so they don't have to worry about outletting the ball. Whoever gets the rebound can go.
And Avila is just a walking dime. Like, he can put the ball wherever it needs to be. The best passing center in the country. Djokovic off the back of the rim.
They did a good job there taking away that left shoulder. He wants to go to his left shoulder as much as he can. He tried to force the issue on that last one.
Well, one of the things Josh Schertz told us before the game, you have to limit the turnovers because VCU is so good in transition.
Barry Evans, wow. I mean, he leads them in assists. This kid's 6'8". He can shoot threes, but he is showing me something about putting the ball on the floor and getting to the basket.
He's a Baltimore kid, played for Phil Martelli Jr. at Bryant. How about this from Green, fading to the left?
I mean, he is a 46% three-point shooter. That was a little bit tough, though, that one.
He is a marksman. At the team's practice yesterday, St. Louis made it a priority to get to the gym the day before the game to get the shots up. And Green didn't miss much. Djokovic rolls around the rim and out, so can't get Lazar Djokovic going in.
Avila twice trying to force that shoulder. They did a good job, but you know what? You got to get back not only quickly, but you got to get back and be in a stance because these guys are attacking you off the dribble. Hey, Josh Schertz, I've known him for a long time from when he was at Lincoln Memorial. I think he had a year where he averaged like 110 points a game when he was at the Division II school. Tremendous success there.
As the highest scoring St. Louis team. On the right wing, it's in and out from Lewis.
And I'm not taking anything away from what he did at Indiana State, but he started his head coaching career at Lincoln Memorial, and he was unbelievable.
Finally a whistle as these teams can catch their breath on a bump. Brandon Jennings' first foul. So, Coach, we've highlighted the offenses, most in school history for St. Louis, and for VCU, you have to go way back.
Yeah, well, for VCU, they have 5 games in a row, 80-plus. That hasn't happened since 1976. And for St. Louis, 7 games of 80-plus. That hasn't happened ever. So these guys are putting up historic offensive numbers.
St. Louis in their last game on New Year's Eve, by the way, happy 2026 to St. Louis. They hit 19 threes in that game, a school record, and Green tallied 4 of them in and out on that one.
One of the things that Phil Martelli emphasized with his team, they're playing against a team that out-rebounds their opponents by 14 a game. That's number 2 in rebound margin in the nation. You've got to get on the glass when you play St. Louis.
Deion Brown gets called for the foul, his first. So you have a team in St. Louis that is, you mentioned, one of the best rebounding teams, or 4th in the nation in scoring, 2nd best field goal percentage. Just the numbers all across the board, jaw-dropping.
Yeah, their difference between field goal percentage and defensive field goal percentage is the biggest in the country by far.
The shot clock under 10, the reaching hands of McCautry to knock it away, and it belongs to St. Louis. So it is the Billikens at 13-1, the early 3-point lead. Claggett, H. Waldman, legendary head coach Charlie Spoonhour. St. Louis is looking to go 14-1 this year for the first time since that year. And you see the last time they've reached a lot of their milestones. Well, Josh Schertz has a team this year that can do some lofty things. Yeah,
there's no doubt. Now, the one we've got to take a little bit of a grain of salt in terms of the competition they played hasn't been spectacular. So these offensive numbers, which are historic right now, came against a little bit lesser. Now, when they play in the league, now if they keep those numbers up, now we're really talking.
His teams in the league, they've been scouting you since your opening game. They know what you do, when you like to do it.
And better players in the Atlantic 10.
There. Avila back to the basket and did not see Tracy. And then a reach in before Tracy explodes.
Yeah, I mean, Avila is a tremendous passer. He's the leading passing center in the country. This time he kind of falls asleep here, doesn't realize he's going to get surprised from behind by Jadrian Tracy. And just, lost.
Very rare you can get Avila. It seems like he has eyes in the back of his head most of the time.
Unbelievable passer. The best passer, combination passer, 3-point shooting big man in the country. I mean, when your leading 3-point shooter is, second leading 3-point shooter is your 7-footer. That's pretty good.
And a lot of great shooters. They make 11 threes per game. On the defensive side here is Michael Bell in off the bench. The junior from London misses. St. Louis has won 7 straight, and every one of those wins by at least 10 points.
I'll tell you, right now, VCU doing a really good job of taking away the dribble handoff threes. And that is not McCartry's strength shooting threes. 6 for 25 on the year before that shot. But they were daring him to shoot that one.
So they dared Brown to shoot. Not a volume shooter he hit. And then McCautry connects. Meanwhile, Bell wide and out of bounds.
I mean, St. Louis is loaded with guys that can shoot the ball, as you can see there. Robbie Avila's highest percentage, but I would say Trey Green has made the most. He's their best 3-point shooter. But Sharma comes off the bench. He made 5 threes against St. Joe's in the last game. These guys can really light it up.
We asked assistant coach Corey Tate for St. Louis, who's the team's best shooter, and it was no doubt to a man. Everyone on the team said Trey Green. A ring the bell from distance. Quentin Jones accelerates. Off the backboard, nothing else.
Good job by St. Louis in transition defensively. Wow, this kid is quick hands.
Quentin Jones steal. Green a 3. A rare open miss. Rebound ricochets out of bounds, but a foul called from the far side.
I mean, Trey Green has had 2 pretty good looks. First one he took wasn't great. 2 pretty good looks that usually are like layups for him. But now here come the subs.
The depth on this St. Louis team with McCautry picking up his 2nd foul. 7 players on the team put up at least 9 points per game. They go 9 deep of players who put up 6 a contest.
And now Terrence Hill in the game. That pretty deep VCU team, too, when your high scorer comes off the bench.
Sophomore at 6'3", Hill gets a touch off the curl. His pass deflects off the body of Dunlap. And Otieno chases. Sharma can shoot it. Leaves for Dunlap. In and out, Otieno tips. With a rebound volleyed in by Tracy. VCU stuck on just 4. But their top scorer in the game in off the bench. Bell in the lane. He's altered by Otieno. Gets it back and gets fouled. The intensity that we expect for all 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are constantly on the attack, and they are so used to playing fast because that's how they... When Phil Martelli Jr. was at Bryant, they had one of the fastest playing teams in the country there. They're not playing quite as fast, but his goal is to get that way, but they'll go up and down with you.
It's VCU's fastest in 9 years.
But for Phil Martelli...
It's kind of slow.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow for him.
That was free throw off the mark. Just a 60% free throw shooter. America East Conference Coach of the Year last year, Phil Martelli Jr. at Bryant. This team won the regular season and the American East playoff.
And he's doing a great job here. They have played a bunch of high majors. They haven't gotten any of those wins yet, which they need to get, and that's why this is such a big game, because this is a quad one opportunity for both these teams tonight.
VCU's losses to Utah State, Vanderbilt, NC State with a rejection up top in New Mexico. Djokovic with the block shot, leading to the run out for the Rams. Dangerous pass, nearly deflected by Thames. It was deflected, but VCU recovers.
And Thames is the guy. We had him in the open. There's the lob.
And that one was altered. Whitten Jones from the backside. Otiero on the deck. He wrestles it away, and a kick ball will mean it stays on this end.
This is one of those games, you got plenty of action. That was pretty good job by actually it was that was pretty good job there. Dion Brown getting in there.
St. Louis team that could shoot but has the athleticism as well to defend. VCU comes in 11-4, and this is the slicing Hill, who comes in as a volume scorer, 29 points per 40 minutes. Transition pass intercepted by Lewis. The freshman at a DC. Djokovic. Otiero, his second block shot.
Boy, Djokovic is really struggling so far. Oh, good help defense there by Otieno.
Shot clock down to 10.
That's a rarity.
Has to be Hill. And Fame secures.
Yeah, I mean, VCU has not been able to find it at all so far.
Low scoring start really for both of these teams. Otieno knocked away.
I mean, you think about it, as fast as this game is, for it to be 10-5, it's almost hard to do.
Well, VCU has missed their last 9 from the floor. And it's a 3-minute scoring drought for St. Louis as well, a whistle. And these teams can collect themselves as Hill picks up the foul. See the VCU season profile, 11-4 record, 2-0 in conference play. They can put up a lot of points. Their best win this season against Virginia Tech. Their head coach is Phil Martelli Jr. moments ago with our Jacqueline D'Agostino.
All right, Coach, a low-scoring start so far. How do we get this offense going?
Well, we got to make some layups. We've gotten there a couple of times. Can't make a layup. And a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers. Their size and length is pretty good. We just got to make short passes and then go finish when we get there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
I tell you, he makes a great point. You know, obviously I've watched these teams on tape. Haven't seen them live for the first time. I'm sitting here and I'm saying St. Louis is really long. I can't believe how long Quentin Jones is, Dion Brown, Kellen Thames. There's a lot of guys with long arms and long legs on that St. Louis team. I can see where they can be really difficult to play against from a get their hands on passes, turn you over standpoint. But that's not taking anything away from VCU, who also has some pretty good length himself.
You just got a long look there at Lazar Djokovic. Is there any way VCU can get him going through his early struggle so far as he collects this rebound?
I think right now the scouting report that St. Louis has to take away that left shoulder is hurting Djokovic. Now, usually he's also a guy that gets to the foul line. He leads the A-10 in free throw makes, but he has not been able to get to the line at all, and he missed a couple of easy ones as Phil Martelli was kind of alluding to him a little bit, I think, too.
He's matched up on the block against Otieno from St. Louis. Can't get him the basketball, so it has to be Hill off the glass.
You know, it's amazing the improvement in this kid. He didn't even play that much last year, and to make the leap that he made this year was really incredible.
He averaged only 3.5 points per game last season, and now he's one of the biggest microwave scorers in the country.
And he's doing it in 20 minutes. He's averaging 14 points a game in less than 20. Neither one of these teams plays anybody more than 25 minutes a game.
Flick of the wrist, but off the rim from Thames, who's quite an athlete, known for his dynamic dunks.
Hey, quickly, VCU 3 for 15 from the field.
We'll add one more.
Okay, so they're 4 for 16 from the field, and the score's tied. They are very fortunate in this game, but their defense is keeping them in it.
Loudest this crowd has been all night. Green, a healthy three. Oh, my!
Wow.
A silencer from Trey. A bump in transition. They wanted the offensive foul, no call. Djokovic misses.
I guess Trey Green has carte blanche. If that doesn't prove it, nothing does. You know, it's a shame I'm like talking about things like 2 plays later because they're getting it up so fast. You can't even talk for me, and I talk fast.
Green again. Yeah, this game's fast for us. Both quick speakers. Yeah. Good luck. Another three. Back of the rim and off.
My wife always texts me, slow down, so that you better not text me tonight because you can't slow down.
Gotta keep up. Lamont Noel missed that last three. He had a strong game last time out, 14 points against Duquesne in the VCU win. Is that the toughest feedback that you get?
That's
yeah,
no, there's other things.
Oh, okay. Shot clock down to 8. Sharma shot deflected. It does graze the rim to reset the shot clock. Bounce pass to Thames wide open. Great look from Dunlap.
I think they're going to look at it. It looks like that's what Lee is doing.
It looked like from here that ball did graze the rim, which would have reset it to 20.
But they're going to take a look at it. There was no appeal, though, right? Yeah, they're checking for a timing error, which I think is that hit the rim.
And then, of course, the shot clock resets to 20 off the offensive rebound, so they had that correct. It reset a bit late, but they got the layup so quick, I don't think that's the error that they're looking for. They're looking to see if the ball hit the rim.
Yeah, the basket's good.
The basket's good. And they've confirmed. Lee Cassell, Mike Palau, and Jeffrey Clark, the 3 officials. A-10 game of the year. It's preseason 1, VCU, the reigning champs, regular season and tournament. And St. Louis projected to be the biggest challenger. They've lived up to it to this point. They've won 7 in a row. This is their first and a chance to be their only quad 1 opportunity of the season.
Yeah, that's why it's such a big game. But, you know, one of the things I've never seen before is VCU has 3 guys that didn't play good pass.
Bell lays it in.
VCU has 3 guys that didn't play in the Atlantic 10 last year. They were on the preseason All-League team. I've never seen that before.
A guy like Tyrell Ward isn't used much. He's on the preseason All-A-10 team. Barry Evans, Jadrian Tracy. And check, too aggressive. Noel gets called. See the future quad 1 opportunities as of now. Of course, things can change with the net, but right now you look ahead. St. Louis doesn't have another one left, and for VCU, it's just the rematch on the road against St. Louis.
The Atlantic 10 needs these 2 teams, Dayton, GW. Those are the 4 top teams. I don't know if I'm missing anybody. I think right now those are the 4 top teams. They need them to run through the whole league in order to maximize how many NCAA bids they can get.
Off a screen, Dunlap. Wide to the left.
And Dunlap's starting to find it. He's 12 for his last 17 from 3, the transfer from St. John's. Good pass. Oh, I thought it was a good pass.
Bobby listens. No, it's
I
not.
take it back. It was an awful pass.
Lob down low. The fader goes Deion Brown.
The thing about St. Louis that makes it so tough is they push it so fast that you can't even get into your stance quick enough. That was such an easy basket because VCU just, it's hard to be that ready.
With as fast as St. Louis plays with their style of play, and right on cue a VCU turnover, it almost seems like they speed up their opponents offensively. A glorious start to the season for St. Louis record-wise, although strength of schedule leaves maybe a little something to be desired. Josh Schertz has St. Louis feeling great, and moments ago with our Jacqueline D'Agostino.
Coach, this has been a lot of back and forth. It's been fast-paced. How do you maintain your lead?
Yeah, I mean, it's been fast-paced, not super efficient right now. We got to be stronger with the ball. Got the ball taken our hands a few times. Got to finish plays around the rim. Got to make some better rim decisions. Our compete level is really high. Effort's really good. Just got to be more solid.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Well, the compete level is very high on both these teams, you know, and as he said, not very efficient. You got VCU 5 for 20 from the field. You got St. Louis 7 for 20 from the field, and these are two of the best offensive teams in the country, so struggling to put the ball in the basket.
And Josh Schertz knows a little bit of something about compete level. As a youngster, he was kind of deemed like a tennis prodigy from the New York City area and ended up going to Florida to play tennis at a higher level. Got into coaching and fast track, and now he's here leading the way for St. Louis in his second season. Bell with the shot clock at 1. Brown deflects it. It's a shot clock violation.
I didn't think I'd see one of those tonight, to be honest with you. I was going to lay odds and say, hey, you know what are the odds of us having a shot clock violation? I definitely would have taken the under, whatever it was.
I would have taken the over in pretty much every one of the point categories that you could have just because of the way these two teams have played this season. But the first half has really been the opposite story, whereas you heard Coach Schertz mentioning, it's not very efficient.
No, but you know what? It could change in a hurry the way these two teams play. It's not like they're playing slow and they're not scoring. They're playing their usual speed, but they just can't put the ball in the basket.
Fourth highest scoring team in the country, St. Louis. 95 points per game. Jones off the backboard. That was a tough angle.
This kid from Northern Illinois averaged 16 points a game for them last year. He talk about long arm, athletic. That's him.
He's third in the MAC in scoring. This is the largest lead of the game for St. Louis. Barry Evans has to reset.
Their half-court defense has been very good.
That time get called for the foul is Quentin Jones. But you're right, not much room at all.
I mean, Quentin Jones here, I mean, he's 6'5", but he really plays like he's 6'7", 6'8". Shoots threes, takes it to the basket. Also averaged 3.5 assists a game last year. But I think right now, part of the story of this game is the St. Louis half-court defense. When VCU has to set up, they have not been able to get anything done, really.
Is the extra inches of height from Quentin Jones because of his hair?
It could be.
It looks a little longer. Showing off the throw here on a Wednesday night. Lazar Djokovic back in. Again, you mentioned early on in this game his struggles from the floor. Looking to get him going. He's the leading scorer for VCU amongst their starters at just over 13. And he deflects that ball away. Evans leads the way. Jennings on the wing and ripped away by Jones. Man, can these teams fly.
I tell you, Jones is also a very good defender. No doubt about that. Really get back there and make that play.
He was the Atlantic 10 Player of the Week back on December 8th. Quentin Jones out of Chicago.
And think about this, Chris. Avila is one of the best players in the league, and he's been non-existent so far in this game.
Still St. Louis 5-5. Lewis chisels, tips it back, and out of bounds.
Trey Green with a really good job defensively there.
How about VCU? Just 5 for 23 from the floor.
And they were not back quick. They weren't really ready that time.
Avila wants 3. Back of the iron and off. Offensive rebound. It's the spinning Brown. Knocked away. He recovers. Jones on the block. Off the backboard, these teams are battling on the interior. Jennings runs, and Jennings a circus layup.
You're not kidding, though, Chris. They were battling for that rebound.
The standout from Richmond, Virginia gets on the board. Three-pointer from Brown, no. Three-point percentages so far cold on an uncharacteristically warm day in Richmond. Brown runs transition. This game has been played in transition.
Great job that time by VCU getting back and locating people.
When they get into the half court, it's a lot of Avila. Flicks it to the block for Brown. It's out of bounds and stays here, much to the dismay of the 7,000 plus at the Siegel Center.
You see Brandon Jennings, the sophomore here, with a really tough finish. Preseason All-A-10 defensive player. He can put it in the basket, too.
He was big time against St. Bonaventure a couple of games ago. Jennings had 20. Second half stretch where he scored 12 points in a row. That's the diming of Avila, but that time his receiver can't bring it in Brown.
Yeah, it was a good pass and a good cut. Got to handle that one.
Bell swatted. Otiero says no up top.
Boy, this kid with Quinnipiac is one of the best shot blockers in the MAC conference. Where they go?
A dipsy-do from Green, it's taken away.
I mean, he's going 1-on-4 there, by the way. Not a great decision.
Jennings, right side of the rim. Otiero rebounds. A VCU player hits the deck, and of course St. Louis takes advantage in transition. Bounce Otiero. He wanted, the crowd wanted to travel. He wanted the layup. It's off the front rim.
He was a travel.
Evans running and gunning. He sees Otiero. There's the two hands to the body. They get the call with 4:29 to go in the first.
I will say this is the most entertaining game I've ever seen.
Where neither team can score.
With two teams shooting under 30%. I've never seen a game like this. And I've seen a lot of games.
Otiero making sure nobody can get to that rim.
Yeah, he was a good addition from the portal from Quinnipiac. Very good shot blocker. Scored some points in the MAC conference.
And he's getting more time as Coach Schertz exploring the two big lineups of late of Otiero on the floor with Avila.
You could do it offensively. I think the problem there is defensively.
Off the rim, and Thames gets the rebound.
See, look, every guy on this St. Louis team has brought the ball up in transition. Every guy. That's
another poor result of a pass. Even if it was a good look, not a great result.
You got to give VCU a lot of credit. I mean, that was a pretty well-defended back cut there.
.409 to go in the first, and these teams still under 20. Paul Otieno, 2 points, 3 rebounds.
Well, it's not because of the shot attempts. One shot 27 times, the other one shot 28 times.
Teams have combined for only 4 free throws. We haven't had many stoppages.
And that's the other thing. VCU is one of the best at getting to the free throw line. They have not been able to. That's a tough shot.
Well, right on cue, a foul on a 3-point attempt. And Terrence Hill Jr. will walk to the line. Thames, his second. VCU, the winners of the Atlantic 10 last year. St. Louis, that's the prize they want this year. They haven't won an Atlantic 10 regular season since 2014. You're like, this is the group that can get it done. This game would go a long way, not just for the conference standings, but any potential at-large resume. This is their first, and it could be their only quad one opportunity.
And let me tell you something. Those lowest scoring halves are in danger, both of them. I can tell you that right now. And who would have thought it could happen to both of them in the same game?
I mean, we haven't had the lack of possession, let me tell you that.
No.
Just poor numbers, both teams shooting 30% or worse. But Hill Jr. was fouled from 3 before we stepped aside. A guy from Portland, Oregon, who committed to Ryan Odom originally at Utah State. Followed him to VCU and now is stuck here with the Rams and Coach Phil Martelli Jr., who love to have him. The scoring punch off the bench. It's all 3 of them. 19. That is 7 in a row for VCU. The attack from Thames to set that one up. Drop off pass to Brown. But you can see just from Thames and the way he attacked how much attention he grabbed.
They have a bunch of guys that can attack off the dribble.
Nick Lewis, excellent shooter, leaves to the corner. That one's off from Evans. Brown deflected away. They get Bell. Yeah, the 7,000 here don't like it. Neither does Phil Martelli Jr.
You take a look here, Bell. Oh, wow. Not a good call.
First on Bell. The crowd does have an argument. And it sends an 82% free throw shooter to the line.
First free throw of the night for St. Louis.
A little, come on, man, ball don't lie from the Phil Martelli Jr. side of things. He does get one of the two. You're very familiar, of course, with his dad, who was not afraid to share an opinion or two.
No, we go back 35, 40 years.
In fact, I grew up listening to his dad, Phil Martelli, on Sports Radio WIP in Philadelphia. He had opinions on the Eagles and Phillies. Forget basketball.
Oh, yeah, he was a Philly guy. See, I was a New Yorker. They wouldn't put me on, but they'd have Phil on talking about the Eagles.
James.
Oh, that's going to be good. That's a mistake.
James.
Not smart.
And there is dad, Phil Martelli, a long-time St. Joe's head coach.
And he's better. The better part is to his left, his wife Judy.
There you go. Get the two shot to make sure.
Who played at Immaculata, by the way. She was a really good player, too.
All right, let's go back to that look. And that was pinned before it hit the glass.
I don't know.
They said it was goaltending. You called it immediately. But yeah, second look, that was a lot closer.
That's goaltending.
Also, you got to remember on the way down, too.
I think it's coming down.
On the way down. Forget the glass.
Coming down.
So you get that to go, the basket, and then you get Thames to the free throw line to try to complete the three-point play. Remember, this was 1912 St. Louis. VCU scored 7 in a row, and now St. Louis potentially 6 straight with Thames. Okay, I jinxed them.
And they're good. This is a very good. Both teams are very good free throw shooting team. They got the scouting report on Djokovic down pat, I can tell you that.
He hasn't had any room to operate. Go-to moves are non-existent. Hill tiptoes the baseline. Time's up. Evans can't connect. Ahead of the pack, 2 Billikens there. Dunlap will lay it in.
I mean, this Thames, I can see why he's such a valuable guy at 6'6", strong, athletic, doesn't shoot it, but boy, this guy does a lot of everything. There
As it intercepts. Boy, Thames impacted limited minutes and lays it in. Boy, is St. Louis happy to have Thames healthy. Last year missed the end of the season, the last 14 games with serious cramping issues. They still have to monitor that. But that time gliding in the open court.
Yeah, I mean, he missed a lot of games last year. 14 games he missed. He's a huge part of this team.
Fading across the lane, Hill Jr. off the back of the rim. A whistle on the rebound. It stays on this end. But St. Louis has scored 9 straight.
You see Thames here. I mean, this is a really good pass. Nice finish by Brady Dunlap. And then he just, I mean, he passed us with the ball. I said, this guy is going for sure, 100%, like a runaway train.
This is his 70th career game played at St. Louis. The St. Louis product, Kellen Thames. Djokovic getting ready to shoot in the 1-and-1. Bringing back Michael Bell, the athletic wing from London. 7'1" wingspan.
I'm trying to do a telestrator here, and I can't do it. It's too fast.
You can't. Moving pictures. You might have to make a cartoon. Pops out, and of course it's Thames on the rebound.
That's a big man rebound, I can tell you.
Thames is shooting 71% as a player who's 6'6". Brown is shooting 67% as a player who's 6'3". Thames wants more. Knifes inside.
This guy flies, by the way, too. I want to see him in transit. I've seen him on tape in transit.
They left open Noel, and Ahmed Noel makes them pay. Immediate timeout. It's called by St. Louis. With 1:04 to go in the first. St. Louis, 30-22 lead, and coming up on AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up on the latest college basketball highlight stats from our game as well. Adam Zucker leads the way. Roy Hibbert, Avery Johnson, Gary Parrish, all in New York. As we can see, Kellen Thames, a breakout first half.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. He does so many things for them on offense and defense.
What Coach Schertz mentioned is he's making that transition from an athlete who plays basketball to a basketball player who's athletic. Reach in on the driving McCautry. And we'll send Amari McCautry to the line. They get Brandon Jennings, his second. But Coach, speak to that. How do you get somebody to go from, okay, this is just a raw athlete to, okay, now he's a basketball player who happens to be athletic?
I'm sure the skill work at St. Louis is, hot and heavy. They are getting into skill work. They're working with him on his shooting, which isn't great, but he can make a three. He's made a couple. But you got to work with him on his skills. But playing in this kind of a system, you get very loose, and he gets rebounds, he brings the ball up the floor, so he's just learning, this kid, but he's got tremendous athleticism.
McCautry off the front of the rim, so it stays at an 8-point contest. McCautry turned 21 years old yesterday. Team gave him a happy birthday note after practice.
And for two of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, we're not really seeing that at all tonight.
Other than pace, these teams are playing against what you expected coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis makes 11 threes a game, and VCU makes 10 threes a game. And they each have 3 right now.
30-22.
No, actually, VCU has 2.
In the last 10 seconds of the first half. We thought we could get this maybe midway through the first half. McCautry with 5, navigates, spins, fades, front rim with 1 left, rebound, Djokovic, and that does it for the first 20. Uncharacteristically low scoring half for both of these teams. St. Louis leads 30-22.
Yeah, the shooting percentages, St. Louis has this lead because they shoot 39% to VCU's 20%.
All right, let's check in with Jacqueline.
Dion, it has been back and forth, up and down. Describe that first half for us from your perspective.
I mean, it was much like you said, back and forth, up and down. It's a great team. They're obviously in great shape, as are we. It's been like a track meet thus far, transition, go, boom, boom. And we happen to come out on top for this first half. We got to try to maintain it, though.
Yeah, so how do you do that? How do you maintain it in this sort of environment? And it's a lot of back and forth.
I mean, we go back there and hammer our flaws. We had a lot of turnovers, a lot of unfortunate fouls. We try to go there, smooth out these edges, and try to stop what they're doing well. They're beating us on the boards right now, I believe. They're getting downhill. We're not in our gap, so we just got to make sure we're able to make these corrections and win this game.
Thanks, Dion.
Of course.
With SLU head coach Josh Schertz about what this team that is known for nailing those threes can do to get back in it. He used the word poised. You have to be more poised. He said VCU is a great defensive team, and we got to keep up.
And VCU, over the years, numerous head coaches known for the defense. And Josh Schertz and Phil Martelli Jr. both mentioned, hey, we have been offensive-oriented teams, both teams. whichever team shows up defensively is going to be the team that wins. Well, really, at times, both teams' defenses have shown up. Who would have thought which team's offense gets rolling in the second half might determine who gets the win?
Listen, both these teams play extremely hard, but both are good defensive teams also. When you look at the numbers of St. Louis, I mean, they've given up 37% field goal percentage, top 5 in the country.
Liquid on the floor, cleaned up. Telling Coach Josh Schertz to get back. We're ready to go. Second half. St. Louis has won 7 in a row.
I'll be interested to see if Avila can get going in this game.
Scoreless in the first half. Came in leading the team in scoring at 13 points per game. Jones, second chance 3, bullseye.
And Kellen Fames, how about he starting the second half? So the energy that he brought, Coach Schertz, he saw it all, that's for sure.
Sparkplug did pick up a couple of fouls in the first half. And speaking of that whistle, this is on the Kotri. This would be 3. That is. So third personal on Amari McCautry, and immediately Coach Schertz goes to the bench, and Paul Otieno comes in.
And Otieno had a lot of activity in that first half, too.
Mentioned Fame starting the second half. No Deion Brown on the court to begin the second half. He was the team's leading scorer in the first half.
And he was pretty good, too.
Djokovic finally on the board. And he has a chance to earn one more at the line. And Avila can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good roll to the basket. Otieno fell asleep just a little bit there. Didn't get there quick enough. Didn't recover fast enough. Stayed a little too long on Jadrian Tracy.
And there's the three-point play. So Lazar Djokovic, 13 points and 5 rebounds per game. A slow start. You need to get going to get VCU back in this. Down 8.
They just cleared out the side.
Well, you went after the all-A10 defensive member in Jennings, and Jennings won the battle and then causes the misstep 3 seconds in the lane.
There's a rarity. You don't see that call too often. Great defense there by Jennings, who is a really, really good defender.
Djokovic screen. Ball fake in the up and under by Tracy. Jadrian Tracy. And VCU within 6.
All of a sudden, they're starting to get to the basket a little bit.
This halftime work is a big reset for teams to readjust their expectations as they get Djokovic on that foul.
They didn't want to call it. But what was going to happen was Otieno was going to turn the ball over.
So you got to call it, right?
You got to call it. He didn't want to. I give the ref credit. Nick Cassell did not want to call it. He was hoping that Otieno would be able to, stay up on his feet. But once he was going to go in the backcourt and lose the ball, you got to call it.
Green left open, can't do that.
This guy. He's got in the gym range, as they say.
That ball doesn't even think about hitting any part of the rim. 2 hands to the body, causing Djokovic to fall. And that's Otieno's second.
Trey Green, I tell you, they do a great job of shooting threes off handoffs. In the first half, VCU did a really good job of not allowing any of those threes. That time, that handoff from Avila, they didn't get to it in time. Green scores.
Tracy gets the shooter's touch. The home rims at the Siegel Center. 5 straight for Jadrian Tracy. Jones lobs. Otieno. Rejected! Brandon Jennings from the opposite side.
Boy, Brandon Jennings blocking it like a big man.
Djokovic climbs over the back, and they'll get him for the foul.
I mean, Brandon Jennings, there's a reason why he was preseason all-defense. He's a 6'3" guard, comes from the weak side, and gets the big man, Otieno. Wow, that's a very serious block.
That just weak side rotation for a guard. Like, the low man is the guy, down low in the baseline to help in the best help position. When you have a guard at 6'4" who could be a low man that could alter shots like that, that's incredible.
That's pretty good.
Shoulder shake from Green. Just strikes fear into the defense. Avila spins, looking like college Jokic. Everything but the layup to go.
That really was Jokic-like. He's got to make that.
Jennings lost it. No foul. It's out of bounds.
Oh, I thought they hit it from behind. They might challenge that. They're looking at their guy who's got the tablet to see if they should challenge it. Well, that guy's got pressure on him. Let me tell you something. The guy with the tablet behind the bench, he got some serious pressure on him. Oh, they should challenge that.
On the VCU side, it's Harrison Chiplane who has the tablet.
No, they didn't challenge it.
They did not challenge it.
That looked like a challengeable one for me. Boy, I hate to have that job. I got to be honest with you.
Too much pressure? You were a coach for how long?
Oh,
that's too much pressure?
That's pressure. Especially if he had me breathing down his neck. That would be real pressure.
You just know head coaches too well.
No.
Avila and Tracy hits him across the arm.
I'm a little surprised they didn't challenge that. That looked, I don't know, pretty obvious to me. How about you, Chris? Didn't you think so?
Yeah, that was definitely
Could it have gone
close.
off his fingers at the end?
Now, my question is that high stakes enough in early in the second half to challenge?
If it's a lock.
if it's a lock, then
It's
you
a
can
lock.
get yours.
It's got to be a lock. To challenge something this early in the game, to me, it's got to be a lock, for sure. But that could have been a lock. It was right in front of their bench, too. And so they had a really good look at that one.
If you were a coach with the challenge in effect, how much would you weigh the high-stakes nature of the play versus the certainty of it being correct? Like, if you get one right, but it's just possession in the first half, might not be worth challenging.
I think if it's a guarantee, you're right in terms of that's a good point because you only get one more.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, something to be said for that. I think the things that you challenge earlier are goaltends.
Okay, points.
When they're called.
Points,
exactly. Things that relate directly to points.
Pass out of bounds will stay here. Now, how many times a game do you think your players would do the circular motion to tell you to challenge?
Too much. You know what I mean?
You'd be
They
sick
want
of
to
it in a
challenge it.
second.
They want to challenge stuff when they're wrong.
If I were a coach, I would keep stats of who tells me to challenge and what their percentage would have been if I were to challenge it. And if you're below a certain percentage, if you do that, you're coming out of the game.
Yes.
Green dishes, Avila lobs, great interior catch by Jones, but poked away.
Really good defense by
Nearly a turnover in the backcourt. It's saved as Tracy scoops. The effort from Jennings to keep possession. The freshman Nick Lewis, spells Nick with a Y and YK. He takes the three. Not even close. Out of bounds, and it leads to a stoppage with 15:32. Early second half is back and ready. The alpha leader, according to the coaching staff of this team. Of course, Avila is the experienced player, especially with Josh Schertz going back to Indiana State. But Brown is more of the outgoing leader. Somebody who will use his voice more often.
Yeah, I thought his interview at halftime with Jacqueline was great. Very outgoing. And I don't think that's the easiest thing for a kid to get off the court and do an interview right away, but he was terrific.
And these guys these days, they're always on their phones,
Yeah.
taking videos of themselves. They're used to being in front of a microphone and camera. Come on.
Not like my day.
Can't take these guys away from their phone used as a camera.
Oh, that was an offensive foul.
Yeah, he used that arm arm to push off. Rams got the stop anyway. Great pass to the lane! Evans at one! Oh my! A Barry boom at VCU.
What a finish. I mean, this is a big-time slam. Oh. Deion Brown came in a little bit. He came back in the game a little too early.
Welcome back.
Oh. He got posted up pretty good there.
Indeed. Baltimore Barry Evans. Making a loud statement. Hesitation on that free throw attempt. The battle for the rebound, and it'll stay on this end. Bell got there first. And Avila looking on. And that's back-to-back fouls on Brown. So that's now 3. So you're right, Coach. He came in, gets dunked on, gets 2 fouls in like 10 seconds. Rough life. Terrence Hill Jr., leading scorer for VCU, comes in off the bench. Dimes Jennings misses left.
And they have had some really good looks.
Pocket pass. Oh, Tieno.
Made that look easy.
Bill's cut off. St. Louis up 8. Jennings attacks. Uses the backboard, but it rattles around and out. St. Louis has never won at the Siegel Center. They're 0-10 all time. Otieno gets deep seal. Jones found him. And that's back-to-back baskets for Paul Otieno.
I tell you, every one of these 8 guys that play, 9 guys really, that plays for St. Louis, they all contribute.
St. Louis's largest lead of this game was 11. They're up 10. Teardrop shot. Djokovic, no. So a chance to get their largest lead of the night. Green zooms, stumbles, regathers, and it's wrestled out of bounds. Oh, it belongs to VCU. They say Green was the last to touch.
You take a look at Otieno. See, what happens is Djokovic gets stuck out too far. So he comes out a long way. Now he can't get back in time, and nobody gives any help on Otieno. He gets a head of steam, and he's gone.
So what's the responsibility there? Is it communication at the ball screen? Is it from the help side, not rotating
No,
over?
he shouldn't come out so far so early in that situation. He came out too far too early and just left too much space there.
Evans turns the corner, so nobody there initially. Off balance from Hill. Yeah, VCU just ice cold from 3. They're just 3 for 15. There's air one.
Yeah.
The muscle, the hustle, the flex, and a 3-point play.
Let me tell you something. That was definitely a worthy flex. This is all strength. I mean, he just bullies 2 guys, and now watch the... Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Brady Dunlap gave him a flex, too.
I like the flex assist.
Brady's flex isn't quite as impressive as...
Oh, you telling him to get his weight up?
I think he's got to get his weight up a little. It's not as impressive as killing things. You have to say.
Very few are. Completes the 3-point play, an 82% free throw shooter. This is the largest lead of the game for the Billikens. Tracy knocked away. And it's out of bounds. We'll stay here. Let's check in with Jacqueline.
But Kellen told me that his mom was a multi-sport athlete. She played track, softball, and basketball in college. He said, yeah, my dad was a 4-year starter at Mizzou. I got my height from my dad, but my athleticism from my mom.
Yeah, the bunnies like mom a little bit there. We've seen it all from Thames. Timeout called by St. Louis was a timeout for a challenge to review whether this went out of bounds off of VCU.
And it was a successful challenge. The referee just told us it was off of VCU, so it's blue ball, St. Louis ball, and they keep their challenge.
So the disappointment from the other side. But yeah, got the ball, and then it was last off the hands of VCU. So for Coach Phil Martelli Jr., the team that's come in winners of 5 straight. But what does VCU need to do here this last 13 minutes, down by 13?
I got to be honest with you. They're playing hard defensively. They got to make some shots.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a lot of open shots. It's a team that makes 10 threes a game. I think they got to stick to what they do. Maybe try to push it a little bit more in transition. Maybe that'll get them some easier looks. But they just aren't making makeable shots.
They're 1 for their last 9 from the floor. Their largest deficit of the night here at 13 points.
What they can't do, they can't let it affect them on this end of the floor. That's always important.
That was strong. That was tough for things. Tracy pull-up tray, yeah.
Wow. And that was a pretty good job by St. Louis getting back in transition defensively. That was a good shot and a tough shot.
See if that opens up the floodgates just a little bit for VCU. Otieno spins and bounces it off the window.
Got a lucky bounce right to him there.
Otieno from Kenya has made a strong impact here tonight. Turnover VCU. James runs the floor, gets it off the glass. So back-to-back St. Louis.
It seems like at the ultra-fast pace, St. Louis a little bit more comfortable handling the ball than VCU is.
James has been comfortable too. He has 13 points. That's a team high. Came in putting up just 9 a game. Left wing three. Tracy tried to go back-to-back. Loose ball foul on the rebound. Djokovic and Otieno collide. It looks like it stays on this
basketball.
end.
One of the more entertaining moments came in the 2014 A-10 tournament when 4-year-old Philip Steven Martelli was shown imitating his grandfather, then St. Joe's legendary head coach, Phil Martelli. Philip, with his whiteboard, suit, tie, and handkerchief, instantly became a fan favorite. Philip is the son of VCU head coach Phil Martelli Jr. He's now a sophomore, no suit. He told me tonight, guys, he hasn't dressed like that since he was about 4 years old. And of course, he plays basketball. His team got a big win last night on the road.
Oh, there you go. Well, Jacqueline, first of all, thanks for making everybody feel old. Because we remember that. Wait, that guy is now that guy? What happened that long ago?
Yep.
I like the imitation, though. The youngster in the suit. The artwork on the clipboard, though, was unmatched.
Yes, no doubt.
Some great days with Phil Martelli at St. Joe's. Phil Martelli Jr. was a co-captain with Jameer Nelson, the St. Joe's great, back in 2003. That layup up and in for Lazar Djokovic.
That time Djokovic went to that left shoulder and just forced his way in there.
So generations of Martelli. This is Sharma who picks up the dribble. Dunlap tiptoes across the lane. Tracy went straight up. Here comes VCU. Hill hacks.
Oh, they're gonna look. They might look at that one. I think it's a common foul, but that could get a look. I think it is getting a look.
We saw the signal to head over to the monitor. Let's take another look ourselves.
That could be a one. I would put that in the excessive category.
Deshaun Sharma. Personal foul. Question is whether this will be upgraded. You can see the attempt at the ball, but it was excessive and it contact right there up towards the head.
And he took a shot in the head, too, so I think this is going to be a one. I would be surprised if it's not. You know, what I've seen the last few years, especially, when somebody gets hit in the head, it's going to be something, even if it's by mistake. And I'm not saying Sharma wasn't trying to hurt him. You know, it's just the way he tried to foul him so he wouldn't get a layup was, I think, a little excessive.
Yeah, you saw the qualifications for each of the flagrants, and we said excessive is the one that we're looking at. Whether it's unnecessary, well, again, he was making a play at the ball, but excessive is what we were highlighting. And we'll see if they get Sharma there.
I think the idea of it is that he could have fouled him and not fouled him that hard and stopped the play. Here they come. Let's see.
So we got indication that it stays a common foul.
Common foul, yeah.
And you're surprised.
I was a little surprised. Especially that he took a little bit of a shot in the head on top of it, which I didn't see initially. But
so, I mean, it's just key that this becomes just 2 free throws instead of 2 free throws in the ball. Like, that's a huge difference. Huge. Down 12 points.
Huge.
Returning for St. Louis is number 0.
I don't know. I think Phil Martelli Jr. will look at that after the game and he may call somebody.
2 free throws for Hill.
I mean, I've seen inadvertent shots to the head that get called that are all the time.
That one was a transition play. But they do get the 2 points out of it. Can they get some stops on this end? McCautry is defended by Noel, and there's the call. And again, this crowd, a lot of grumbles, especially over this last couple of minutes.
See, when he reached in, he had good position, Noel, there, but when he put that right arm and he reached in, that's when he got the foul.
His second. 25 fouls for VCU in this half, 7 for St. Louis. Bumping as Hill gets up the court. Accelerates the hesitation.
Oh.
How do you stay in front of Hill?
You know, I was just getting ready to say Brady Dunlap doing a good job on defensively, but then he just got shook.
Took him to the mixtape tour.
Big time. Good pass.
Wrap past Sharma. And Thames had it knocked away. Now going back to the other end, the dazzling moves from Hill.
I mean, this kid's got a lot to hold. We just left it behind. Right there.
That's like a beep beep.
Yeah, exactly.
Goes right by. They clear out the side for Thames against the big. Spins past him. Oh, gorgeous.
Taking advantage of certain matchups, Djokovic can't really stay with him off the bounce.
That's 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists for Kellen Thames. In off the St. Louis bench. And a foul on Thames on the opposite side.
Well, this was called out from the bench. Look how the whole side is completely cleared out for Thames to just go one-on-one, and he's able to get it done. So strong. Good with the ball.
That Thames foul is third. It's the team's 8th, 1-1 for Djokovic. One of the best at getting to the free throw line in the country, top of the A10. But hasn't found the free throw line much in this game. Coach Josh Schertz has done a good job of keeping the top scorer in the starting lineup from getting his.
And basically doing a good job because St. Joe's is one of the top teams in the country at getting to the free throw line. So they've done a decent job of not fouling.
In the VCU, they put up and make 20 free throws a game. 20-2-0. Thames, he wanted it. He gets bumped. No whistle. St. Louis comes down with the offensive rebound. Was that bouncing on the rim? I say it wasn't.
I guess nobody's complaining.
Noel's intercepted. Sharma like a DB. And he is fouled. For VCU, that is their 16th foul, so no free throws here. With Sharma running in transition, they get Hill.
I guess that wasn't a goaltend down there because, you know, Josh Schertz didn't complain, so I'm going to side with him. That's clearly a foul.
So Hill comes out. In just 19 minutes per game, he puts up 14 points a contest. Imagine he's going to get a break here and then maybe the under 8 to get back on and try to finish. They need a scoring punch. Does have 3 fouls.
He just brings so much energy to the table.
Avila back to the basket game, draws the double, patience, and gets to lay up the fall.
Yeah, I mean, they end up with a switch, and he ends up with Noel on him, you know, which is not really going to work.
That's just his first field goal, coming off of a 20-point game against St. Joe's.
Well, you notice 2 half-court sets. Josh Schertz set up 2 isolations there.
Step back dribble. Tracy, no.
Gotta go back to 3.
St. Louis looking for their first ever win at VCU. 0-10 all time. Bobble in the lane. Jones can't handle. It's scooped up, though, on the perimeter.
I tell you, there's hands everywhere in this game.
Pass at your own risk. Shot clock at 5. You got to get it off. Jones for Avila. 3. Ball fake. Draws the contact.
Wow, that was, talk about knowing the time on the clock. That Jones made that extra pass to Avila, and Avila had the presence of mind to know he had time to put a fake and still be able to get to the foul line before the shot clock goes off. That was just a great understanding of the shot clock and time.
That was a YMCA move, if you ever saw it. So, school record-setting season offensively this season for both of these teams. Of course, St. Louis coming off of a 100-point game against St. Joe's. They scored 106 times. VCU scored at 4. Yeah, I don't think we're getting to 100.
No,
we need a few overtimes.
That's pretty safe.
Avila's a great shooter. Last year led all centers in threes and assists. Again, atop the country in assists per game amongst centers. Avila bumps there. They say he went straight up, made it difficult for Jennings.
The thing about Avila, it's hard for him to get involved in the game when the game goes crazy up and down, but in the half court, he does damage.
Yeah, who would have thought a guy like him would star in one of the fastest-paced teams in the country, but that's just how it works. Backcourt collision.
But also, you see his numbers this year are not quite the same as they were in the past.
Minutes down 2, so not carrying as much of a load. St. Louis 55, VCU 43. This was a game billed at the top as college Djokovic, Robbie Avila, against the Joker for VCU, Lazar Djokovic. And neither big has had the impact that you'd be accustomed to, and especially Djokovic. He's stuck on just 7 points.
Yeah, and he did nothing in the first half. He's been a little bit better here in the second half, but I think the speed of the game and the fact that they've been taking away his left shoulder successfully has made it a little bit hard on him in this game tonight. Just hasn't been able to get in the flow.
Lazar Djokovic from Serbia. He played for the Serbia youth national teams. So certainly the Nikola Jokic impact there, but the game of Avila on the other side, you could just see just the striking similarities with the passing, the shooting, the skill. Hill at the line, 1-1. He was fouled in the backcourt before he stepped aside. He's an 88% free throw shooter. He mentioned when he exited the game that he'd likely come in right around that 8-minute mark, the under 8 timeout. A little bit before he came right back in. He makes 2 free throws.
Well, they got to get some stops. And now in these half-court sets, you see Avila getting much more involved. Trying to play through him.
Screens, handles, gets it back with 6. Have to hurry. Shot clock at 3. Has to be Dunlap. Elbow J's a line drive.
And Phil Martelli wants him to really start pushing it.
Down 10, but with the pace of these two teams, you can wipe off a 10-point deficit in a breeze. Jennings is fouled, and especially with the foul situation, that is the 10th on St. Louis. So about to be 2 free throws going forward.
A lot of time to go in this game to be shooting 2.
You see the field goal percentage defense. We've talked a lot about the offense, but yes, that stat is noteworthy. Now again, Coach, you've highlighted, okay, maybe the strength of the schedule, who they've played isn't at the top of the list or anywhere close. But still, 36% is 36% opponent field goal percentage.
And St. Louis is playing a good team tonight, and that good team is shooting 27% in this game. So you got to give them a lot of credit for what they are doing defensively.
Green back on for St. Louis. Perfect from Jennings.
With all that, they're only down 8. This is when you need Avila to start producing. There's a nice back cut.
And Green lays it in. Those two look like they've been playing together for years.
Yeah, this guy, and the thing is, when you got a guy in the middle of the floor who can pass, it's a heck of a shot call.
Oh, wow. Hill ignites from downtown. But a timeout called by VCU. Bill Martelli Jr. trying to get his team ignited. Lead was as large as 14. It's now down to 7. CBS Sports Network's coverage of college hoops. It continues next. Moray 10. Loyola Chicago hosts Davidson. So you just saw Davidson over the weekend. VCU forces a steal, but they throw it right back out of the timeout.
They came out with the pressure, make the steal, and just give it right back.
Boy, that was the break. They could have used it. Would have potentially cut into a 2-possession game.
You know, all of a sudden, this game has become like a half-court game.
Drop off. Otieno thunders it through.
Deion Brown has been very good in this game, as we pointed out. He had the best first half, made a nice pass there.
Hill elevated, didn't have a plan, but had the outlet. Trying to turn on his scoring shoes, and he gets fouled, and that means free throws, double bonus the rest of the way. Hill was 17 on the game. It's Brown's 4th foul.
Yeah, Deion Brown here gets into the lane. They come to help. Nobody helps the helper, and Otieno's wide open for the dunk.
So to reiterate there, Deion Brown, foul number 4. 88% free throw shooter misses. So Coach Schertz will take out Brown. And Quentin Jones comes in. Jones is 3.
Can't leave Hill out for too long, I don't think. He's the only guy who's been looked like he's got his three-pointer tonight.
Excuse me, Jennings was there at the line. And Jennings hits the free throw after missing the first. Also an 88% free throw shooter. Jones lobs deflected away. Djokovic. In transition, it's Avila in the air. Pays it off with the layup. It is down to 6, under 6.
That was a big-time move by Djokovic.
Shot clock down to 6. It's Jones tiptoeing the baseline. Djokovic erases it.
Nice
Bounce pass, it got there and a bump. Otieno called for the foul. And you just saw the playmaking from Djokovic after he swatted the shot on the other side.
Djokovic is really starting to assert himself. He tips that pass away to start with. Now watch the move that he has here. He gives it a great fake, steps through for a layup, and then down this end, a great block leads to that fast break that he leads, and a nice pass.
Man, bigs these days are so gifted. Timeout called with 5:04 left. St. Louis's lead, which was once as large as 14, is down to 6. And free throws coming for VCU. The foul difficulty for St. Louis, that last foul on Otieno, that is his 4th. So he joins Brown in the 4th foul club.
Yeah, right now, if you're Josh Schertz, you're telling your guys, just settle down. They haven't been in an environment like this all year. This is their first tough road game. So being in this, with this kind of crowd, and when this crowd gets going, it's a tough place. That's what he wants his guys now to have poise.
There's some buildings and some conferences where if the game gets close late, it just plays a factor. I was watching TCU Kansas last night, and TCU leading late, and all of a sudden that game got close, and Hog Island Fieldhouse happened, right? And Kansas scrambled from behind and won the game in overtime.
I think this guy is a factor.
Michael Bell's a 60% free throw shooter. This to make it a 4-point game.
All of a sudden,
The press creating havoc. A word that they know oh too well here in Richmond. It's out of bounds. Last touch by the Rams.
Well, I mean, they could have called a foul like pretty easy.
Jones turns the corner, reverse layup, and got it past the big. Incredible athleticism from Quentin Jones.
Yeah, he went to the other side of the basket and had the rim protected him.
Bell wants three. Give them all!
I knew things were going to pick up at some point.
It is a one-possession game. St. Louis 0-10 all time against VCU on the road. Do they have the finishing kick? Jones, no. Djokovic boards. A chance to tie it with a three.
I didn't like that shot.
Noel lost it, regathers. Crowd here, 7,000 on their feet. That's a foul down low. It's called on St. Louis.
Wow, 2 shots.
And that's Jones's fourth. And it'll send Djokovic to the line. Buckle up for the Final Four. Josh Schertz directing his team's lead cut to 3 as we get to our Old Trapper beef jerky player of the game. And it's his reserve guard, Kellen Thames.
Yeah, you know, you called him a guard. I call him, I don't know, he's a little bit of everything, really. He does so many great things. He's athletic. He's a really good defender. He can really finish at the basket with that tremendous athleticism that he has. So he has really been a tremendous spark plug in this game. And you think of him having 15 points, 7 for 10 from the field.
On the bench right now, but St. Louis has had a lot of athletes over the years, some high flyers. He's up there with the best of them. Chris Lewis, Steve Lapis, Jacqueline D'Agostino here with you in Richmond at the Siegel Center. St. Louis is led by as many as 14 points. And Lazar Djokovic at the line, a chance to cut it down to 1. His second double-double of the season at stake here if he makes the free throw.
And this kid was basically non-existent in the first half.
Check it, he already is up to 10. So make that 11. It is down to a 1-point game.
We're going to find out what kind of half-court team these guys are now.
Jones dishes, that was well done. In the half-court, everything but the make. McCautry all alone.
Can't get a better one than that.
A chance to take the lead for the first time tonight. Noel tries, denied. Shot clock down to 7 for Bell. Sees an opening, slices in. Djokovic tips, and McCautry gobbles.
He thought he was going to be contested at the last second. He kind of moved it around. He had a layup.
Aggressive in the passing lanes across the board for VCU. Dunlap, quick first step, swatted twice. Bell got it first, and then Djokovic responded. Noel! Oh yeah! VCU in front for the first time tonight. McCautry, silencer, and a timeout called St. Louis.
I mean, and you're talking about McCautry, who's a very good player, no doubt, but he only made 6 threes on the season before that one.
Coming in, he had made 6 threes. For McCautry, that is his second of this game.
Yeah,
big time.
But he shot that like a guy who's been taking threes all the time. I mean, that's a big three he made. 6 for 24 coming into the game.
I mean, out of all the players to take it, at the time of the game to take it.
When you think of time and score, that'd be one of the last guys you'd want to take that three, but he made it.
All right, this game is completely reversed as you see the game trends. It was Coach Schertz's team up the majority of the way. They've led it for more than 36 minutes. But it's been a VCU run late in the second half to take the lead before that response three from Amari McCautry.
And it's a huge game because it's a quad one opportunity for whoever wins.
In a league where you don't get that many across the board.
And let's face it, it's almost impossible to make the NCAA tournament as an at-large team without having a quad one win.
For St. Louis, their first quad one opportunity of the season could be their only. VCU 0-3 in quad one games this season. Out of the timeout. Wow. Noel. Back rim. That was a bodacious shot.
Yeah. Not crazy about that one, but, that's the way these guys play. So, you got to let your guys play the way we play. And both these coaches let their guys play.
Avila rolls to the rim, and McCautry found him. That was well executed.
Yeah, pick and roll. The big guy going to the basket.
All late for Avila here in the second half. So after trailing by one, St. Louis has bounced right back with a 4-point lead. Hill off the mark and a whistle on the rebound, and that is team foul number 8 on VCU. So we will walk the floor for the 1-and-1 with 1:19 left.
Really good job in the half court here on the pick and roll. And Djokovic has gotten stuck on that a couple of times in this game. If he's going to come out and head, somebody's got to help him on the roller. And that's not what's been happening.
Got to communicate on defense there. Future quad one opportunities as it sits right now looking ahead. St. Louis doesn't have any. And the only one for VCU is against the St. Louis team when they go to St. Louis on February 20th. 1-and-1. Dunlap says chill.
And you know what? You got to... Schertz has Brady Dunlap in crunch time. So that tells you something. Besides the fact that he's a really good free throw shooter, this kid knows how to play.
Missed a good chunk of last year with St. John's as the Red Storm went on to win the Big East.
I mean, and he's basically been their 8th or 9th man this year. But last game, he played really well. Now they just took him out. Started the second half where they played the other day against St. Joe's. So he's starting to come around.
This is just an incredible punch right back for St. Louis. They were down 1. This building was rocking. And they have quickly tallied 7 in a row. Edmond trying to end the run, won't fall. Contested board. Sharma, who just checked in, fresh legs, wrestles in the rebound.
You don't have to foul yet, but you've got to get a stop and a rebound.
Under a minute to go. St. Louis trying to hold on for their first ever win at VCU. 0-10 all time. Not to mention a quad one win. Shot clock down to 5. Avila. Rainbow is blocked. So VCU strong defensively. 31 seconds. They got to go quickly.
They got to score quick, call timeout.
Hill for 3. And there's
now you got a foul. You got a foul.
There you get it with 20.9. It took all the effort for VCU to take the lead, but you see that a lot. All the effort to come back, but you don't have enough in the tank to finish.
And the thing is, Chris, it was so short-lived. They got the lead, and all of a sudden it was gone. When McCautry made that 3, they got that 1-point lead. He makes the 3, they're down 2, and they haven't been able to come back since.
Out of all the players on the scouting report for St. Louis, who would hit the key 3 in crunch time?
Not him.
McCautry would not be that guy.
He wouldn't have been the guy, would he guessed either.
The last foul on Jennings is his 3rd. Doing what they can with things at the line. One of these free throws, with it being the 1-and-1, makes it a 3-possession game, excuse me. And he does. 7-point lead, 20.9. Each foul going forward for both teams will be the double bonus. VCU, 2 timeouts left. St. Louis with 1. Kellen Thames, he's been the player of the game for St. Louis, and now ties his career high with 17. Brown back in, and a timeout call by Bill Martelli Jr. of VCU. St. Louis comes in 13-1, and that one was a heartbreaker. What Coach Josh Schertz says, one of the most improbable losses in his 18 years as a head coach.
Unbelievable. I mean, 1-point loss to Stanford and lose on a shot like that.
Yeah. That was a second free throw, trailing by 2. At the line, they missed that free throw. It ricocheted out for a 3-pointer for the lead, and yes, the win for Stanford. So that's the only loss. 13 wins, winners of 7 straight, all those games by 10 points or more in the most recent winning streak. This will be their first 14-1 start since the 1993-94 season.
I mean, average margin of victory is like 27 points now.
The only team with a better margin of victory has been Michigan, who's been crushing ranked good teams all year. St. Louis knocks it away. 10 seconds left. The country lost. Boy, Thames tried for it. The game-breaking dunk with 7.9. He's fouled. And he shows off the bunny for the highlights as the fans head to the exits.
Probably should have just pulled it out.
Yeah. But then again, I don't have hops like that.
No.
So, you know, if I could jump like that, I'd want to do it too. Career high 18 for Thames in his 70th career game played at St. Louis. Pattonville High School in St. Louis. Local guy, fan favorite. And one of the biggest wins St. Louis has had on the road in the A-10 as of late. Bill with 1 second off the mark in St. Louis for the first time in 11 tries, wins on the road at VCU. 71-62 is the final.